Hey, I'm Rajat. I'm going to take you through Hillnote. Hillnote is a local first Markdown editor with a bunch of cool features like Kanban boards, built-in local AI, access to Claude, Gemini, and so many other things. I'm hoping this video gives you a good overview of what to expect from the editor. The premise of Hillnote is fairly simple. I've never been a fan of the fact that simple things like your notes and maybe Kanban boards you're working on, all of that is not on your laptop where AI models have access to it. Instead, they're going and sitting on a cloud somewhere. I love the way IDEs work. Essentially, all of your code files, all of that is on your laptop with a copy on GitHub or whatever repo you have, which means that things like Claude Code, all of that can work directly on your code files. So that being said, let me jump right in. So this is the Hillnote app. I have a few workspaces already set up, and each of these workspaces are local folders on my Mac with all of the Markdown files and all of my data right here. So you do have a bunch of things that you could do, like set up dashboards, choose the AI model you want, etc. But I'm just going to jump into one of my workspaces. This is a document I have open called my current focus. With any document, all of your Markdown commands like hash to open h1, /h2, all of that's going to work. You also have a toolbar that will kind of make it easy for you to set things up. And you also have some of your slash commands like heading, etc. But where the local AI really comes in is if you continue typing saying, could you write me a 3-line poem, you're now going to get a 3-line poem written by your local AI. Some of the simpler functions like fixing grammar, maybe generating quick content, all of that is done using our local AI models. But you do have access to some of the bigger models, which is just accessible via chat. And over here, I'm just going to open up the chat to choose maybe Claude Haiku. And I'm going to just say, could you add a tagline to the entire page? Hillnote comes with a built-in MCP server along with tools, etc. So Claude should have access to add pretty much any text and edit any files that you need. So the editor does come built in with all of the things you would expect out of any standard Markdown editor. It's got code blocks, quotes, checklists, bullet points, the works. So something that's noteworthy is probably the ability to embed files, folders, or even PDFs. So I'm just going to show you what that looks like by embedding this PDF right here. And what that allows you to do is just open up this PDF side by side and kind of browse through the PDF as you work on your document. So while you can embed files and folders, another really cool thing that you can do is embed HTML files. These kind of work like extensions or widgets where you can bytecode or create your own tool by just creating a simple HTML page or sometimes even a complex one with its own CSS files and JS files. Hillnote can handle all of that. So over here, I have a fairly quick example to show you. I have this color theory tool that I built earlier. And what this allows you to do is kind of just select color. And with that, you kind of get a few complementary colors, triadic colors, so on and so forth. These are some tools that are super specific to me, but you could create literally any tool that you want. And the idea of tools is to kind of keep tweaking the workspace until it's just perfect for you. So while you've seen documents and Hillnote, another cool feature is you can create a task list, which is nothing but a Kanban board with all your Markdown files arranged in columns that you can determine. It's got a bunch of different views, whether it's a task view or table view. So what task lists allow you to do is organize all of the Markdown files in a specific folder into a Kanban board or into a task list, where each task item is its individual Markdown file. The Kanban board itself is stored as a JSON file, which is super easy for AI models to read or for you to open with another IDE or tool of your choice like Cursor, Visual Code, etc. to edit on your own. So even this task list right here is pretty much stored as a JSON, as you can see over here, with each of the project specific tasks being stored within their own individual folders. The idea here is to keep everything super organized and super easy for any AI model or maybe even a human going through your files to understand what's going on. Another great thing about Tasklists is that your premium models and your local models have access to it. So if I were to say what should I work on next, my local model here has a clear idea of what's in my task list and can give me some pretty good suggestions. So while you've seen the basic editor, some of the things that help set Hillnote apart from some of the other editors you'd use is the availability of built-in MCP and the fact that all of your files are stored locally. This means that any AI model or any AI powered program like Cursor or Claude Code have direct access to the files that you're working on, which means that there is no barrier for you to collaborate with the AI models. The same way, you remember how I talked about how each workspace is its own individual folder on Hillnote? What I can do is just drag the folder into say something like Cursor, and now that the workspace is open on Cursor, Cursor has complete access to all of the documents and all of the Markdown files that I have in the workspace. This is just an example of how Hillnote plays nice with your existing tools and how you can pair Hillnote with some of your other tools to kind of get some really good results. I sometimes use Hillnote to write my notes on what I want to build and certain bugs I'm facing, and then use that on Cursor to kind of tweak my code base a little bit or figure out what to work on next. Now, because Hillnote stores all of your files locally on your system, another really cool feature about Hillnote is if I would just go to settings and enable all of the CLIs that I have here, now in any of your workspaces, I'm just gonna go here and clear out my balance document. So in any of your workspaces, you can open up the CLI tools for Claude Code, Gemini, Cursor, OpenAI's Codex, and have them directly edit your files and your workspace. So over here, I'm just going to say, can you populate at balance document based on at rules and at card outlines? I want to use a point system for my balance. So I just told Claude Code what I want to achieve with my balance document. So it's thinking right now and it's read a file. You could do this pretty much with any CLI, whether it's Gemini, Cursor, OpenAI's Codex, or every other CLI tool. So over here, we've gotten a quick answer and it's generated the entire document I want. And since AI tools love Markdown, this is going to be a fairly easy task for Claude. And I'm just going to say, yes, I want it to override. And just like that, I have my entire balance document written on Claude Code. Now, Hillnote stores everything in Markdown, and Markdown tends to be a super friendly format when it comes to AI models. So there are certain built-in features on Hillnote, like this one right here, where I could just write a document on how I want Claude to think of certain things, even link certain documents, link resources, etc., and just export it as a Claude skill for Claude to consume as a skill document. Most AI models accept Markdown files to configure themselves. So Markdown itself is a super powerful tool, and since all of your Hillnote files are stored in Markdown, you could use your Hillnote files to directly set your preferences on your AI models. You could also view your Markdown file in its complete raw format. Hillnote also allows you to leave comments on documents. So I'm just going to say, hey, this is a comment. And now you could reply, and all of the comments are again stored within your Markdown file in a small section called comments. So again, completely visible to AI models, completely visible to IDEs, and your comments travel completely offline on your Markdown file. When it comes to things like collaboration, I tend to use Google Drive personally to collaborate. So all my workspaces are within my Google Drive. Now, while I use Google Drive, you could use OneDrive, you could use GitHub, you could use Dropbox, you could use any tool that you use to collaborate on files with, to collaborate on Hillnote workspaces. Now, Hillnote workspaces themselves, while they're great for AI models and great for IDEs, they also can be extended, especially if you know how to write a little bit of code using your Next.js projects. You can use the NPM to turn a Hillnote workspace into, say, your documentation, like we have done here with our Hillnote documentation. Everything's super AI friendly. It even generates the sitemap. It even generates your LLMs.txt, robots.txt, and so much more. You could also turn your Hillnote documents into blog posts using the same NPM. We've again done this on Hillnote.com. So you just have to go and get the Hillnote publish NPM, run the script, and all the instructions are right here. If you want, you could even build your own tools to convert Hillnote Markdown files into maybe something else of your choice. So I've just scratched the surface of Hillnote. There is so much more that you could do on Hillnote. You could actually go through some of the models that are available and have been handpicked by us. You could even download custom models from either Ollama or Hugging Face directly. You could play around with the settings, maybe set up some custom AI actions, change the temperature of some of your models, create templates, and so much more. You could even go up to changing the system prompts that we use so that it is perfectly tailored to how you want to use it. You could even create a dashboard like the one I have over here. It's got my RSS feeds, some images, and some of the files that I like to have quick access to. So with that overview, Hillnote's out for Mac and should be out soon for Windows. It's completely free. You don't even need to sign up to use it. So I would urge you to give it a try. If you have any feedback or you want to get in touch with us directly, you could use the email ID, or we even have a Discord server where I try and stay as active as possible. So you could directly speak with me there. I often get asked who Hillnote is for, and quite honestly, I've built Hillnote the way I would use it and the way I think makes perfect sense. That being said, I've always seen Hillnote as relevant to anyone who has a AI native way of working and kind of just wants all of their files, all of their thinking, all of their brainstorming to happen in a way that's completely accessible to their AI tools. And the second group of people I think it's super relevant to is anyone who's trying to build anything in software, mainly because Hillnote has a lot of ways to extend the existing Markdown files, and it gives you complete access to all of your data, which means that your thinking and brainstorming can be built on and built around. So with that, thank you so much for listening to me ramble about Hillnote. If you have any questions or if you want to join our Discord server, please do. We're still building it out and I would love to build it together with you. With that, thank you so much and hope you have a great day.